What song was stuck in my head? There was a song stuck in my head up until the minute I loaded up the stuff to stream. And wouldn't you know it, I now can't remember it, but it was there. It was stuck. I was sure I was going to start the stream singing it. It was so stuck in my head. And yet now, the minute that I actually put everything together to start the stream, it vanished. And like that, it was gone. So who knows? I don't even remember what song it was. I think I've been singing it all day. And somehow it vanished right as I went live. Probably better for you since I can't sing for anything. So you've been spared terrible vocals. Let's see. Just making sure I post this. Yes, we're good there. And we will quit here. And I will come over to social stream. And these should both be live because I just popped it early. I didn't wait till everything was in place because it doesn't really matter. It's my second stream for the day. It's almost like once I've done one stream the correct way, then I'm more relaxed about doing things properly. Okay, we should hear this. There it is. Okay, let me make sure that my tests work. So let's do, I have to make sure it's visible. Hold on. So let me select the correct thing. There it is. Okay, make it visible. And let's say TEST1. I heard it and I see it, which means this window can be closed. And then I need to go over here and I need to say TEST2. And test 2 is good, which means this window can be shut. And then I just need to do, I don't know why it doesn't show the Twitch chat by default. It used to, which is strange, but that's okay. And then we will do test 3. And it's there. So all of our stuff works. I could not think of the word stuff. All right, let me move my keyboard. Let's get my iPad activated. All right, here we go. Move you over a little bit, just so I can still type on it. I don't know why I didn't work that before. I worked that up before. Boy, I tell you, this new desk is just fantastic. I really am thrilled with how much more room I've got, how much easier it is to do all this stuff, not worry about it. It's just, you know, it's one of those things. You get used to an inferior version of something, and then there's a point where you realize, yeah, this is not a good version of this. Shut up. Okay, connecting, start broadcast. This is for Let's View. There it is. I can see my screen. And, okay, now let me go to the thing that I actually need to work on tonight. There it is. All right, so let's make sure Let's View shows its correct window. Yeah, sure, save them. I don't care. I didn't do anything. So, window, okay. All right, let's roll this. And, make that visible. There it is. Give that a second. Let me get a quick drink of water here. Excellent. Okay, so what we're looking at tonight, and what I want to do, I actually sort of started to do this the other night, and then I realized I was doing it backwards. So what I actually need to do is, this is the card. Well, I mean, it isn't the card, but this is the image that the card I'm doing for commission is based on. And what I need to do, what layer is this? Is this an empty layer? Yes, it is. I need the, I'm gonna consult the person who ordered the card, the person who commissioned. Whoa, no. Is it this one? There we go. I'm gonna consult the person who commissioned the card and see what they want to do about the background colors, because I've laid in the primary colors, but my first thought was that I was gonna do detail on top of those colors. But then I had a comment from somebody who said they really liked how I'd taken kind of an image of it just to run by some people that I kind of show things to, just to make sure I'm not way off track in what I'm doing. And one of the people said that they really liked the way that the image popped off the background with the colors in their simplified state. And I'll explain what I mean in a second. But I'm just going over this because I want to at least have the outline of this. I don't need to do the detail on the inside, but I want to give this individual a fairly good idea of what I'm talking about. So I'm just doing a quick trace over of my original sketch so it better resembles the image this person's going to see. Because my instinct to do the detail work, maybe that was the wrong instinct. Maybe I shouldn't do that. So I'm going to do a version where I'm going to say, okay, here's what it looks like now, basically. Here's what it would look like if I do the detail stuff. Which do you prefer? And if the person comes back and says, you know what, I like it the way it is now, then I will do the final color run, because it's not completely done with the colors. I'll do the final color run, and then I will basically let it dry, go over the existing black, like this stuff that I'm doing here, where the black ink already existed. Go over that in another layer of black, because inevitably, and this was no different, the color, because the way the pens are, it tends to make the black inks from the Copic pens, the actual black pens, inevitably the ink from it gets watered down. Just happens. I really don't know why specifically that happens, but it does. And so, oh, I didn't even do that. Actually, put that back. Just, oh, it's the wrong layer. Yeah, I don't know why it happens, but it happens. And so rather than, so I always go over it again with another layer of ink so that the black lines are better. So let me just trace all the fingers out. I'm not going to do all the details inside of it, but I'll send a picture of what I've got now, and then this is kind of a, okay, this is what I'm thinking. Would you prefer it this way or the other way? And see what they say. I don't know. I don't know what their opinion's going to be. You know, and I know some people who say, well, and if the response is whatever you think is better, then I have to think about it. So I'm kind of hoping the person has an opinion, because I don't know what I like better. Oh, I didn't realize that was like that. Let me delete that. Is that this? Yes. I should have known, because these aren't exactly the same. So symmetry does not work perfectly for this. There we go. Okay. Why does that still look funny? Oh, I know why it looks funny. Yeah, because this shouldn't have been like this. I keep forgetting these are not symmetrical, really. So basically, oh, well, I'm a moron. That's the problem. Hold on, this all goes, and this goes, because it should be. It basically should be this coming down to. Wait, is there a blade there? Yes, there is. So it should be this coming to here, and that's it. And the rest of it is all. Well, technically, I guess it would be like that. Anyway, yeah, that's technically how it should look. Okay. All right, so now for the important bit, which is the background stuff, the background rays, which I don't think. Yeah, I didn't. Okay, that's fine. It really doesn't matter. Oh, sorry, I bumped right into the mic there, because this is really just so. I have to do the circles though. I do need to do the circles to make sure that this is an accurate representation of what they're going to see. Oh boy. Well, let's make it into a circle at least. And then we have to make it into the correct circle, which would be essentially that, more or less. Again, if it's a little off, I don't care. I just need them to actually see what they'll be seeing, so that this is a... Good grief. Now it's too big, so bring it down a little bit there. Bring it down a little bit there. That's good enough. And then we have to do one more circle. So we can go ahead and merge down. Let's go up. Okay. And then we'll do one more circle way out here where you can't even see it. Luckily, this thing corrects for circles very well. Hold on. Oh, that. Where's dead center? Wow, that's really off. Really off. Okay. Almost. Go that way. Wow. Boy. Where's center? How is it off like that now? Okay, you know what? The problem here is that this isn't a real circle, so it's struggling to get this right because it's not a real circle. Well, it sort of is, but it's clearly struggling. See how off that is? It doesn't really know how to do it, which I guess I shouldn't be surprised by. Okay. Oh my god, this is so stupid. All right. Write that out. Let's just go and find the... There. Let's just take this circle, duplicate it. It's not going to be quite right, but it really doesn't matter. This is just for illustration purposes, so that they have an idea of what the thing will look like. That's good enough, right there. Okay. Duplicate. Expand that way. Expand that way. And make it centered. I don't know why it's like that, but that's okay. There. That's good enough. That's always... Yeah, that top part is... I don't know what's going on up here. I mean, obviously, it's not a perfect circle. That's fine. It doesn't need to be. It just needs to be so that they understand what's happening. Okay. There we go. All right. So now let's... God, be doing... This will be what I'll be doing forever if I don't just get a move on here. Not an atypical problem for me. All right, so we erase all this. All this. There we go. That's 50. 50, we get rid of this. Boop, boop, boop. Okay. Get rid of all this and all that. Okay. Now I have to actually add the important part, which is the background lines. So, let's just draw these in. Actually, I should go through. It'll be easier. I just go through here. I mean, I could technically... You know what? Actually, hold on. Can't I just... Oh, don't even bother. It's going to take you too long to do it. Just do it. Just draw the lines. It'll be fine. Here's one. Okay. Then that one. Yep. This one. Like that. Which is, there's nothing there, so I'll kill this one here. Let's see. I mean, the reality is I don't have to make all these perfect either. I can just give him the... Or them. I actually don't know. So I'll say, I'll give this individual the option here of what they want to do. So even if these aren't perfect, it's okay. I'm not going to worry about them being necessarily all that in alignment with each other. They just have to... I do want to give a somewhat accurate idea of what the two options will look like. So I do need the lines. I can't not have the lines, but they don't all have to be there perfectly and in perfect alignment. So we'll just draw these in really quickly. Like this. I'll erase what I don't need. And I'll do a rough approximation of the colors. Now on the actual card, the colors are there's different colors mixed in, but I'm just going to do an overall impression of it with the base colors, because the colors don't really matter for the question I have, which will be easier to explain when I do it and show you than me trying to explain it. But essentially, my first instinct is to add a lot of detail, but that may actually look worse than keeping it simple with the colors. So that's what I need an answer on. See if this individual has a preference, or if they say, well, do whatever you think, in which case, I don't know what I'm going to do. I really don't know what looks better. So I may end up going back to that person that initially had said they liked the version that exists now and say, well, do you think this looks worse or better? And maybe do it that way. Sometimes it's good to just take the outside advice and run with it, especially if you're indecisive yourself. And I really don't know where I would land on this. Or maybe in the course of doing this, I'll figure it out. Maybe. I'm going to think not. I know my brain fairly well, and I don't think I will actually figure anything out by doing this. And of course, did it go? Of course it didn't. Okay. Right. Okay. So I did a stream earlier this morning and laid out a painting. I did the painting today. Okay. So I did the painting, which ended up being phase 1 of the painting, because I realized that what I had in mind was not going to be able to be accomplished in one shot, because I used a lot of Midnight Black, the oil paint color Midnight Black. And the problem with Midnight Black is once it's on the canvas, it dominates everything. I mean, because it's black. Black is almost always going to be an exceptionally strong color, as you would expect. So once I had the black on the canvas, that's all there was. And attempting to do other colors, the black just ate it up. Just absorbed it and ate it up. So I decided, okay, instead of fighting it, instead of trying to make this do something it is not going to do, just stop and come back to it in a couple weeks when it dries. And then lay in the colors on top of the black, because once it dries, it's not going to... Oh, I forgot there was another circle involved. Hold on, there's another circle. Let me do this really quickly. Let's take this one and let's magnify that. I forgot that I had another circle in there. I do. So let's just see here if we can figure this out. Okay. Okay, hold on. Okay, hold on. Almost got it. How are we looking? No, pretty good, pretty good. Yep, that's fine. That'll do. Okay. Anyway, where's the lines? There they are. So, yeah, I got to a point and I was like, I thought, if I keep doing this, if I keep trying to make these colors happen, and in fact, it did start to happen a little bit, and that's part of the reason I stopped, is it's just going to become muddy. The black is just going to make a muddy version of the color, and that's what started happening. So I thought, okay, stop now. Let this thing dry, because it doesn't look bad in its current state. It's a good foundation. So just stop and let the thing dry, come back, and then attack it with the color once the black will not blend in as much. And then, once it dries, then the colors will sit, they'll be more vibrant against the black areas, because the black will have dried, so it won't be mixing anymore. So it'll be more that it's covering the black, and that's what I want. I don't actually want it to blend, because it's very hard to blend black. Black just, there's a reason that black and white are tough colors to use, because they tend to overpower whatever they're on, or whatever they touch. So that's why they're generally used to lighten or darken things, as opposed to used as a primary color. But that's what I wanted to do, and that's what I did. All right, let me drop that way down so I can erase this. Okay. I don't think I need anything in here. No, I don't need anything in here. I do need, let's see, I need that one, but not that one. Don't need anything in the face. Right, so erase all this. Nothing in the head area. Nothing there. Nothing there. Or there. Or there. So we'll see. Oh, so the painting, I think it is. I think I can make it what I want it to be, or at least close to what my idea was. But it definitely was not going to happen in one shot. And that's this is a. I had said this because I did do a recording of it, so you'll actually be able to see it at some point. I have to edit it together and release it. But I say on that recording that one of the only things I would say is bad about following Bob Ross stuff, and really this has nothing to do with his instruction, it's a byproduct of the way that you learn to paint following him, is all of his paintings are done in 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Like he knocks the painting out in one episode. And so you start to get this idea that any painting you do with those techniques should be knocked out in one shot. But the reality is, depending on what you're doing and how you're doing it, it may take more than, you may have to let it dry and come back. And I think he has said that. I wanna say that there are episodes where he talks about the fact that you can come back and finish things later or change things or leave things off. But by and large, if you're used to painting following his stuff, you sort of get this idea that, oh, I should just be able to knock this out. This should just be a thing that I can do in one shot. And the reality is, that's not going to happen with what I was trying to do. Specifically because of the black. The black paint is so powerful that it's just destroying anything that touches it and just making it very, very dark. Dark to the point where it's either invisible, functionally, you can't see it, or it's muddying it up because the black is just mixing too much with it. I caught a break because I was doing a part with some light where there was black, and I managed to make that all right. It's not perfect. There's still a little bit of gray you can see in it, but it's a lot less than I thought it was going to be. I really didn't know if that was going to work. That was the biggest gamble that I knew going into it was, okay, am I going to be able to make this color work? Fortunately, it largely worked. Largely worked. You don't really see much of there's not a lot of bleed through of the black into the white area, which I'm very happy about because I really didn't know if that was going to work. And it'll work well enough. And once it dries, I can also hit it with white again to kind of reinforce what's going on there. And it should be fine. Okay, let's switch back to paint and we can erase the last of these lines. I thought I heard something, but if somebody actually typed something, it would be very loud. You would absolutely hear it on the stream because the audio on my computer, I have very powerful speakers. So it's very hard to cover. I mean, I'd have to turn the volume down so low to not have it be very loud, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. It's only going to shock me, really. I don't think it'll be too bad for you listening to it on the stream. You'll hear it. Yeah. So, and I thought initially that I needed to watch Big Trouble in Little China tonight for the next review that we're doing, but that's actually a week from now, so I'll watch it next week. Not that I would ever have a problem with watching Big Trouble in Little China. I probably will end up watching it a couple times before our review. So I'm not complaining. It's not a bad thing to watch that movie. Ever. But I thought, oh no, I have to watch it tonight because we're doing the review tomorrow. Nope, not tomorrow. It's actually not for another week. So I have time. I have time because I spent a lot of time painting today and prepping and all that stuff. And so I ran out of time. I was like, well, I'll have to watch it instead of doing a stream tonight. But that did not end up being necessary. I was able to, once I realized that it in fact wasn't tomorrow when this is being done live, I was like, oh no, I've got time. I'm okay. I'm good. So fortunately, I was able to still stream tonight, which wouldn't have been a big deal if I didn't because I streamed earlier. So it wouldn't have been like I didn't do a stream today. I did. And I've missed streams when I've needed to. So it's not, it's not that big a deal. But I like to do it. I mean, listen, if I could, both from I think I can do something creative and time side, if I could do it twice a day so that people could come earlier and later, I absolutely would. But I don't know that I have enough creativity and stuff to do to make a two stream a day schedule. Wow, I really fuck getting that one out. 2 stream a day thing work to begin with, meaning I don't know if I would have something to do. I could start playing video games or something, I guess, but it would be better for people whose schedules are not, like one of the individuals who came this morning, I know is in the UK. So right now it's 2 or 3 a.m. for that person. So trying to make the stream now is very difficult. Whereas obviously earlier today, a lot easier. Afternoon, simpler, easier, as my ophthalmologist would say doing an eye test, which I dread the next one of those I've got because, oh, my eyesight, not great. I think I'm officially entering into bifocals territory because I'm noticing I'm having trouble reading and stuff, and I'm having to look over my glasses a lot, which I'm not thrilled about. I don't care about it making me look old or anything like that. It's just trying to get used to bifocals. I know can be real pain. So we'll see. We'll see. But I think I'm getting towards the end of what they can do for me without having to resort to that. I just think I'm getting past that point. Okay. Really? Let me just drop this down a bit. There we go. Okay, I'm just making sure. Okay. Oop, not too far. That one. That one. Let's delete the other one. Yep, I thought that was going to happen. That other eraser's just too big to do this for everything, so we'll just do that. That's okay. That's all okay. That's all okay. That's okay. That's gotta go. That's gotta go. 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 That's okay. Nothing there. Erase. Those are there. That's okay. That goes. That goes. That's there. This goes. That goes. That's gone. Gone. Gone and gone. That's gone. 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 That's okay. Oh, that goes. All goes. That goes. That goes. Okay. Oop, gone. All right. And those are fine. Oh, okay, good. Looks like I'm in good shape. All right, so now I should be able to dial this way up. Oh, I gotta get rid of that. Let's get rid of the obvious stuff I missed here. That's all okay. Is there another? Oh, there's another circle. I forgot. There is another circle. This will be easier because it's smaller. So this should be easier to dial. Wow, did I just get it? Did I just get it in one shot? No. It's up here like that. There, that's it. And then let's just erase that because that doesn't go in there. That comes out of here. I forgot there was another one. Because, of course, I did. Okay, this comes out of here. All right. And that comes out of there. Okay. That goes there. Okay, so now all the circles are accounted for. Good. Great. Did I really accidentally erase one I wasn't supposed to? Yep, I did. That's okay. We'll just restore it. So, that. And we'll restore that to there. And just erase the end of it, but we're good. There we go. Okay, so then out of there, out of there, out of there, edge, edge, gone, 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 kill that. I think that's the worst of it. Oh, wait. No, that's okay. I'm not going to worry about that. Okay, so basically the way it is, let's get the colors in there. So it's a yellowish color, something along these lines. Back here. Right. So this is like a yellow color. And then, so let's include that in there. I'm not worrying about the outside of the lines right now. The edges of the lines are not important at the moment. I'll just erase it. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Why is that missing? Oh, jeez, I completely missed these lines. All right, hold on. There we go. I don't know how I missed these. I really don't, but I did. That one. See, that's why it's important to do them, because otherwise it starts to look weird when I'm adding the color in. So I do need them here. Okay, there we go. Let's get rid of that. Get rid of it there. That and that. And we are, hold on, check that. Yes, okay, We're good. All right, back to the colors. Right, there's the colors. Color. Go to, was I on paint? Yeah, it was. Okay, so that's good. Then we did an orange. That's going to go behind this. So then there's like orange coming to here. And I'll fix all this up. So orange of different shades that fills in this area. Right. And then I went to a blue. So kind of like that. So we'll do that. And that's here. So most of this is different shades of blue. Right. And there. 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 Not worrying about the hands right now. I just got to get this done because I'm at 30 minutes already. And I want to spend the whole thing just drawing lines, but I should put those circles in because it is kind of tough to tell what's going on. So let me do this. Let's make that a small circle to go right there. No, you know what? Actually, I shouldn't do it like that. I should just do a new thing, go to black, go to here, go to there, check that, good, and just draw a circle. Just draw it, whatever. Try to follow that circle a little bit anyway. Just makes it easier when it has to go. Here we go. Good. And then we'll just duplicate, bring that circle in, bring this circle in, and there we are. So that circle is established. And then we'll bring that same circle over here to form that one, more or less. Yep. And then we'll duplicate that, bring that in, and there's the inner circles. Okay. Now we should be good. Turn these back on. And then the outer, so meaning underneath this blue, is like a blue-green, so similar to that type of thing there. No, it's more like that. So then we'll go back to paint, and we will fill this in. No. Why did it do that? Oh, I know why. That's why. So fill that in, and fill that in. Even on the card, it's really... Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me look at the picture of the card. I'm missing something here. What did I do? Let me just look at I have a photo of it on my phone here. Let me look at the card really quick. Come on. My God, I don't care about this. There it is. Okay, it's blue. Oh, it's blue. Okay, yeah. No, I did have it right. I forgot there was one more layer. So this is right. It's kind of this color, more or less, basically. This, and then it goes into a more pure green like that is for the final layer. Okay. So it's like that, and it's like that. Now, let's clean this up. Okay, let's go to the yellow. Let's get our eraser, and let's just clean this up. You know what, don't worry about any of the other colors right now. Let's just get this cleaned. Actually, wait a minute. This is, I can mirror this. All right, so I can do a drawing assist. Yeah, that's fine because this part is equal. So this part can be mirrored. I can erase this a lot faster if I can mirror what I'm doing. So let's erase all this. Okay, just checking. And we'll bring that in like that. And okay, let's bring that in here. There we are. And I do need to actually fill in some of it. So I'll fill that in. Did I miss another spot? Yeah, right there. Nope. This way, this way. There we go. Then we'll go back to eraser. Shave that. Let's shave that down. Right. Angle that. Oh, I missed some here. Of course I did. Let me just go to this. It's a lot easier than having to re-erase all that. So I can just, there we go. Okay. Eraser. Let's erase this. This should be the same or close enough. Yep. And this. Yeah. That might be slightly different. This should all be the same. Same. And the same. Okay. And then think this is symmetrical. Yeah, basically. Okay, turn the symmetry off. Just get the little edges where I blopped out a bit. Okay, bring that in. Erase, erase, erase that. Erase all this. I'm not going to worry if a little bit goes over the line. I just want the big areas to be correct. So, okay. Okay. All right. All right, that's the yellow layer done, more or less. Actually, I can turn. No, it doesn't matter. All right, let's go to orange. Orange can be symmetrical because all this comes out. Okay. Because the headpiece should be symmetrical. And actually, I really only have to worry about where the yellow doesn't cover. So I don't have to erase everything. I just have to erase the parts the yellow isn't going to obscure rather than going crazy. Because again, this is just so that I can get approval on, or an opinion. I shouldn't say approval because I can really do whatever I want, but I'd like the person to weigh in on this and ideally have I always want the person to get the card they want, you know, or as close as I can get to it being what they want it to be. So I don't want to make it, I don't have the need to have my vision of a card be the only one. I think when somebody's paying for a commission, you know, if an artist wants to be the person who runs the whole thing top to bottom, they can. But that's just not how I look at things. I like the idea of it being more collaborative than that, because that way the person feels like they have a say in it, which they should. To a degree, they shouldn't dictate every part of it, you know. Like I didn't check in with the person on what colors to use because I had an idea for the colors. That I just did that. Now, in some cases with other cards in the past, I have asked about colors, but this time I really wanted to try something with the specific color groups that I did, so I didn't ask, and I don't have any problem with that. And if the person had wanted, because there are people who've said, "Can you use certain colors?" Yeah, if they ask, if that's something that they want up front, then I have no problem accommodating that. But that wasn't the case here. So I decided, okay, I'm just going to do this in these colors because I want to see what they look like. And I like the way, and like I said, based on the one opinion I got, it sounds like it turned out pretty well. So I'm glad that I didn't solicit a direction on color use there, because that probably, you know, it may not have worked out. It might have, but it might not have. And rather than risking something not looking right because I deferred too much to what the client wanted, there is a reason that people come to you as an artist. And one of those reasons is because they want you to put your vision to it. And part of that is, at least here, was color choice. So again, it's not that I've never asked somebody in the past, hey, is there a particular color you want me to use? I have. But in this case, I had sort of an idea for this one. This I had a specific kind of approach I wanted to try. Fortunately, it worked out. So, but this part, the part about the detail work, only because I got that one comment from somebody saying that they thought that the background being the way it was made the front image pop more. I'm like, oh, well then, you know, maybe I'll see what this person thinks. Because if they like it with the, I'll call it lighter detail better, then I don't want them to see it, because I send images to people as I'm working on these things. I'm like, hey, here's where I am. So I'm going to send this, and I don't want them to regret that the detail got added, because I certainly like some things less detailed. One of my favorite artists, period, individual named Patrick Nagel, who sadly is no longer alive to be making great artwork, but a huge artist in the 80s. Most of his work is light on detail. It's all the style. It's all the way he did his work. but there's not a lot of detail in a lot of it. The details are very minimal, but they're very specifically deployed. And I love his work. So detail does not always equal detail is not always the end, the only path to something that is artistically pleasing. That is my default for things because it just is. But it's not, that is not a one-to-one thing. Just because something has a lot of detail doesn't mean it looks good. I can think, and I won't name because I'll be kind that way, but there is a fairly well-known artist from the 90s who loads the images, the drawn images with detail, and it doesn't stop anybody from noticing the laughably bad anatomical mistakes. So detail is not, the quantity of detail does not equate to the quality of the image. So I don't want to fall into that trap of thinking, well, if I just do lots of detail, that makes it quote unquote better. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. I forgot a little bit of color there. Let's go ahead and let's just fill that in, just to be thorough about it. And if I don't finish this part on the stream, I can just do it during the day tomorrow too. This is not urgent at any point, or in any way, I should say. So okay, but I'm not going to do that. So yeah, I don't want to just start to presume that if I load something with detail, it makes it better. It does not always make it better. I mean, except for artists who define their work by detail. For example, Jeff Darrow, who is capable of such incredible detail work that actually you expect it. He's so good at it. There's so much going on in his work that the detail is just astonishing. Somebody like that, yeah, that's a person where there's such a degree of skill in the detail work that I would presume that would be the better version. Just because that's his whole thing, is the detail. If you've never seen Jeff Darrow, and that's GEOFFDARROW. If you've never seen Jeff Darrow's work, you should look at it because it is magnificent in its detail. And I mean detail, not blind detail or just pointless detail, but such specific detail usage. Oh boy. It's mind-blowing. It really is. If you've never seen it, make the time. It's very good. He did concept art for The Matrix, and just that, it's just magnificent. It's just great work. I can't even imagine how he does it. I can't even in my head work out how he can conceptualize some of the stuff that he does. It's great. Some people may have read a comic called Hard Boiled, or titled Hard Boiled, that he did. Great comic. Rusty, Rusty the Boy Robot. Wait, The Big Guy and Rusty the Boy Robot, I believe is the proper title. Great comic. The Shaolin Cowboy, great comic. And it so lives and dies on his detail work, which again is meticulous. It's marvelous to see it. I think, interestingly, he's one of those artists I feel like other artists actually get more out of his talent than non-artists, because non-artists, they'll look at it and they'll be impressed. Don't get me wrong. It's impressive work no matter who you are. But if you're an artist, then when you see that level of detail, the appreciation you will have as a creative person for what he is able to do, if a visual artist specifically, if you've ever drawn anything, and you look at what he's doing, it is so far beyond what most artists can manage. Oh boy, it's great. It's great, and it also it makes my hand hurt to look at it, because I just think of the amount of time, kind of like Art Adams. Art Adams is another one. Art Adams, but even Art Adams next to Jeff Darrow. the amount of small details, it's wondrous. It really is. It's great. It's never, ever is it not impressive to see what he can do. So, if you've never looked at his work, and sadly, I don't think he is necessarily a household name compared to some other big comic artists like Jim Lee or Todd McFarlane, those type, but he absolutely should be. Absolutely should be, because he is that good. Is that good? All right, so let's see. All right, now we've got our colors done. Oh, sorry, not the greens. Let me get the greens here really quick. Yeah, so I also did paint a canvas red. I got to do some marker tests on a red canvas for my Hellraiser painting, because I really don't want to mess that one up, and I got to see how markers will look on that red color. So I'm going to do that test the next couple days. Okay. All right. So, oh, hold on. Let me just fix the blue inside the halo here should be gone too. Just again, just so this individual can get a pretty accurate representation of how the color is going to look without all the little detail stuff necessarily, but there we go, and we'll do it here. These will be metallic colored with a marker, the rings of power, or the aura rings, or whatever you want to call these things. All right, that, and that, okay. God, sorry, hit the mic again. Didn't mean to. Just get rid of these little tabs, even though they don't really matter and you won't see them up close. It's bugging me. All right, so now, what I'm talking about doing potentially is, if I go up one layer and get this, whoop, no, that's fine, that's fine. Let me see what the size is. Yeah, so we'll make this a lot smaller. Right, so I'm going to say, do you want me to leave it like this, or do you want me to come in and do all this kind of detail work? Actually, it'd probably be even smaller than that now I look at it. It would be even tinier, probably like that. Come in and do stuff like this where I'm doing these little lines at different points and kind of making this look like stone. Because again, it's a matter of taste, really. Some people might like this, some people might not. See where I'm just doing these little dot works in here? You know? I could also do cracks and shading, and that would be an interesting thing to do. And this will just take longer too. Not that I think it matters. I always give myself plenty of time on these cards. But basically something like that, where it's these little kind of detail lines, which is kind of what I was planning to do, was something like this. Again, just marks there to kind of make it. But this individual might like the more simple colors. They might not want all that little detail stuff in there. That might actually be kind of too much or overkill. I don't know. See, and even I'm looking at it going, does it really add anything to have all that line work? I mean, it kind of does. But is it better? Because, for example, what I actually did... Hold on, let me look at something here. Let me go to that picture. So, for example, down here, if I take this color, darken it a little bit, I did... let me go here. Do this. So, like here, this is darker. Okay, well, let's switch to here. So I did this thing where there's different quadrants or different parts are actually darkened in. So like this, see? So same color or same color family, but I darkened this square, for example, is a little bit darker than the other ones. And then the one next to it is slightly more dark, or actually in this case a little less dark. It's like this one is like this, slightly less dark than that one is. And so I think what the person who liked it said was, oh, because of all the color alterations like that, it makes that front image pop. So will all these lines distract from that? And I really don't know. That's a question for the person who commissioned the piece. And that's what I want their opinion on, is hey, do you think this is too much? So like here, where there's this color in there, and this is darker, is it better to just leave it dark, or do they want those lines in there? And I don't know what that answer is going to be. So that's where I'd like them to kind of chime in and say, oh, you know what, actually, I like it simpler. It looks, because some people might think it looks too busy with all that line work in there. And I'm not gonna say that person's wrong, because that's their opinion on it. So maybe I do need to add this color in so that they can get an accurate idea of the difference. So I might need to actually color all this in the way I've got it on the actual card so it's a good reflection. But see what I mean? So it may look better with the simpler part here, where it's just the color phases, and as opposed to what I was thinking of doing. And I don't know. I'm just going to do these really quick, because if I do this quickly, then how does that one look like? Oh, that one's over here. And then this is here, here, and it looks like here. Yep. And then on this side, we've got the darker one here and here. Oh no, I'm sorry, that's not the darker one. That's the second darker one. The real dark one is this one. These two, those are the same. And then this slightly lighter color is this one and this one. Oh no, sorry, no, I had it right. This one, this one, this one, that one, and then this was this and this. Okay. And then up top, it's just this, because up top, now that I look at it, that top line got obliterated, which I sort of remembered that it didn't quite make it because it was just a little too big. So this is just basically, well, I think the bottom is there, isn't it? Let me look. And the bottom part is there, but the top part is not. So this doesn't exist on the card. That's gone. And that's gone. Right. Go back to the color here. And let's go back to that. That's there. And then on this side, it's the slightly lighter color. So it would be this one. Is right here. And actually, this line is gone. So it's like that. Okay, got it. And then the blues are interesting, because the blues, I got a lot of variation in the blues. Actually, let's do the oranges first. Since I already started doing those, let's just get these. Oh man, did I? Oh, whatever, it doesn't matter. Really, it doesn't even matter. Now that they're erased, it's a trivial thing. So we'll say, interesting. How do I do that? So it's like that and that. And then that. Not that this even really matters. I could just fake this and it's not going to make a difference, really. Do that just so that he gets a sense, he or she gets a sense of what we're doing here. Okay. And we'll do that there. That. And then we'll do maybe this. And get rid of this. Oop, too hard. There we go. Okay. Yeah. Go back to this. Go back to the orange. That is, we'll do this here. Right. And that'll take care of that side. Okay. Then on the yellow, oh, I have to do the lighter orange too. So lighter orange like that. Yes, perfect. That's exactly what it looks like. So we'll do that for here. And then this one, this one, look at the image here, and then that, and that, okay, and then over here, there's a light one right in this, yep, and then down here, no light down there, so that's just the dark one. Then let's go to yellows, let's go to light yellow, which is it is a very light yellow, that's this. Oh, I have to go here because it's on top. That. And that. And then That's fine. And then looks like this one. And then both of these. That's all for that side. Over here, it is this big spot. And then a bunch of these, so like that. And then we need the, oh wait, here, nothing. Nope. But now we need to go darker. So go dark. And that, we do this. Looks like that. And then there, that. That. I just want this to look somewhat, the reason I'm doing this is so that the picture I send somewhat corresponds to what I'm looking at so that they can see what I'm talking about. Not that. It wasn't the whole thing. It was this part right there. Okay. And then for the blues, we gotta go light blue. And light blue is, let's go to the blue layer. Here it is. There. 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 Oh, no. Okay, sorry. There, there. There. Down here. It's here. Over on this side, it is... Oh, nothing there. That. This and this. Hold on. Let's go up here. That. This one. That. And that. And over here. That. And that's the end of that. Then we're going to go slightly further up like that. And that's here. Here. Let's see those two. It's this one. That one. This is probably going to end up... I'm going to love it. The person who's coming back and says, oh, I trust whatever you do. So I've done all this for kind of nothing, which is fine. It's just, it's going to be very funny to have done all this effort. And the person will come back and say, oh, whatever you think. And I won't feel like I wasted my time. It'll just be kind of funny. Okay, and then I need one more that's very dark. Like that. And then that's this one. This here. That. Hold on. Okay, it's this. Over there, it's this one. And then that one. That one. On this side. Looks like it's this and this. And this. And that. Okay, that's those blues. Yeah, this is going to take me right to the end of the stream. I did those, and then I just need the greens. Okay, so green. So we just go ultra dark green. This is pretty easy. Which is that one. And this one. And then there's kind of a mid-green. Like, say that. And that is this. And this. On that side, it's this. That is it. So yeah, that's what I'm not gonna do that now. I mean, I'll do a little bit more of it, but basically we are now at the end of the stream because we're right at an hour, so that's fine. That's what I wanted to lay out, and I've got it. So I'll just fill the rest of this in tomorrow, and then do my little detail, a detail layer, and say, okay, what do you prefer? And see what the individual says. And based on their input, that's how I'll proceed. Which is either going to be detail, no detail, or up to you. So one of those three things is going to be the response. I already know that. And any of those responses will work fine with me. If it ends up being up to me, once I have the detail in, I don't know, I may, oh, actually there's a fourth option too. I may do like cracks that are color. I don't know how to explain it, but you know, once I post the file, you'd see what I mean. If it's up to me, I may do the cracks, which, okay, I can show you really quick. Hold on. It would be something like this, where I would have, like, let's say, a thin line crack, and in that crack, there would be a different color. So, for example, like this would be just in the crack. Like that to offset the color. You know what I mean? Something like that. That's probably, if it's left up to me, I'll do the crack. Because I think that might look good. So I would probably do that. But that's only if the person comes back and says, do whatever you think you want. Do whatever you think looks good. And then I'll do that. And then it's kind of a surprise, you know? Then it's a surprise for the person. So that's nice too. To have them think it's going to be one or the other, and then a third thing shows up. Because if they don't care, if they don't have preference on the first two, if it's, you know, dealer's choice type stuff, then they don't know exactly what they're going to get. So they'll have something. Oh, whoops, wrong color. There we go. So that's fine. So we'll see. All right, I'm going to bring this stream to a close now because I've been streaming for a while and the iPad is getting warm. So I'm going to give it a break. I'm going to just do that right there because I think that was up there anyway. Okay, so let's go ahead and bring this up. Bing, bing. Okay. All right, everybody. Well, 2 streams in one day, which is great. Worked out perfectly. So it just happened I had the time. I was able to do it. So I'm happy to do it when it works out because I had today off. So that was nice. And yeah, I'll conclude this stream as I do every one of late. And I will say that if you have a creator that you follow, that you enjoy their work, take the time to support that person in some way. And that, whatever that method is, it can be, I say this every time, I think. I try to say this every time. If you can support them monetarily, great. If you can't, then leave that person a message, just saying you enjoy their work, or follow them on some channel that, you know, if they're a YouTuber, follow them on YouTube. If they're on Instagram, follow them on Instagram. However you can help them out. That can be a note. It can just be a message saying, hey, I really like your work. That's it. Simple as that. Doesn't have to always be money. You know, if you can do all three, money and following and all the rest of it, yeah, do it. Absolutely. Nobody's going to complain about that. But like I say often, and I make this mistake too, you fall into the trap of thinking that it has to be a money thing, that the only way that somebody's going to appreciate support is if there's money involved. And the reality is that is not true. It isn't. It's great if you can do it, but it is not the only type of support that matters. Creators, especially people who are trying to make their living only from being creators, content creators. I don't like content creators. I don't like that word. I don't like that phrase. People who are solely trying to make a living off being creative. It is a very tough thing to do almost any time in history, but it never really ever gets easier. You may have periods where you're doing well and you get that kind of roller coaster thing, but it's not, in general, it's a hard thing to do. And part of it is not just the money piece. There is a money component, obviously, you have to pay bills, that type of thing. But some of what makes it difficult is almost every artist at some point struggles with, should I be doing this? Am I wasting my time? You know, am I anywhere near as good as all these other people? And if I'm not, should I be doing this? And even though the answer always should be yes, you should still be doing it because your art is your art, no matter, there is no better or worse. Everybody creates their own thing. And quality from a technical standpoint is just one factor. It's not the only one. But most creators have a point where they doubt whether they should keep doing what they're doing. And even if it's not monetary, and it's not money, if they get a note from you right when they're at one of those dips where they're doubting whether they should keep going, that could keep them going. Better than money in some cases. It might actually be more impactful for somebody who's struggling to get a personal note from somebody who appreciates their work compared to a $5 donation that has nothing attached to it. You just never know. So whatever you can do, money, subscribing to a channel, reposting, sending a note, whatever it is, take that few minutes and do it. Just do it, because you just don't know if your particular action is the one that keeps that person creating, or is the difference between if it's not there, if they stop. Because we get to just count on people after a while. It's very easy to fall into that. but you don't know what's going on with people, and you don't know how close they may be to just giving up on what they're doing altogether. So take the time to do it. On that note, thank you for being here. If you're watching this later, that's fine. I don't really care about whether people watch live or not. I'm not making any money from this stuff. So those numbers don't mean anything, and I understand people are in different time zones and different schedules. So however you're seeing this, I appreciate you seeing it. And like I said, take the time to support a creator. I'm not talking about me. I'm doing fine at the moment, so I'm not looking for anything from me. I'm talking about people who are really struggling and trying to, and are, in some cases, not sure they're going to make rent or whatever they're trying to make. So those are the people I'm saying go support. Anyway, thank you for being here, and yeah, go support a creator you enjoy. And until the next stream, thank you for being here, and take care.